The age of video and audio recording has opened the doors to discovering all kinds of new, creepy, crazy, and awesome stuff, and of which there have been certain recordings made in history that have perplexed scientists and caused rumors and conspiracies to form out of them, because a lot of these audio recordings have gone a long time without any explanation, and some of them have yet to be fully explained or totally debunked. And we're going to be looking at some of those today. So leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video, and let's get into the craziest audio recordings ever captured. The first sound we're going to look at is called the bloop. Now, this was recorded deep underwater. If you're not already afraid of the ocean, you definitely will be after this. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. I'm definitely still afraid of the ocean, and nothing's going to change my mind. That shit's scary as hell. But not as scary as the bloop. This sound was recorded in 1997. That's the year I was born. So I definitely don't remember this at all. But the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, recorded a low-frequency, ultra-powerful underwater sound off the coast of South America. It was so loud that it could be heard by two separate hydrophones 3,000 miles apart. It was so loud that it could not be any documented animal that we know of.
This noise perplexed scientists for over a decade. That noise was heard by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in 1997, and it bewildered researchers for years.
Theories started to pop up about this being a Leviathan or the Cthulhu or what have you, right? Some sort of undiscovered monster. Now, personally, I think it's aliens. We later did discover what it was as scientists moved more into the colder climates and started investigating underwater sounds in the Arctic. That is when they officially made the discovery that it was a part of a massive ice block that separated from a glacier. They were able to not like mimic the sound, but they had a very similar instance happen, and they've had them happen since. So we now do know that it was a very, very large chunk of ice that separated from a glacier. When they start to break apart due to melting and whatever, they make very loud, low cracking noises. And so they're more than positive that's what the sound was that they heard. However, it didn't obviously change everybody's minds. Again, it's underwater aliens. I mean, you know, maybe they shot the glacier and broke it apart. The very next sound we're going to look at, we're going from deep in the ocean to straight up in the sky. In 1977, Dr. Jerry Amen, an astronomer working at the SETI project, which is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence project, discovered a strange radio signal while scanning the skies for alien intelligence. The sound lasted 72 seconds and was so significant and so strange, Amen actually wrote "wow!" exclamation point next to the printout, hence dubbing it the "wow" signal. It matched the frequency that scientists believe could be used by a intelligent civilization trying to communicate. The problem, we've never detected it again. Over 40 years later, and we still don't know exactly what caused it. There are a few theories on what kind of caused this wow signal. Those range from space debris reflecting signals from Earth back to Earth. It could be a spacecraft or satellite that we don't know of, or, you know, maybe it's a different country and they aren't supposed to have it up there. That's what makes this so weird, is that it was literally just a one lone signal that burst from deep in space. The next audio sound that we're going to look at is one called the upsweep. Now, this one is believed to be coming somewhere from the Pacific Ocean. This one was recorded in 1991. The mysterious noise has been baffling scientists for years and is still actually currently unexplained. So although we did kind of debunk the bloop, this one has not been necessarily debunked just because of its location. Now, scientists do believe this one might possibly originate from underwater volcanoes, since they are kind of located in that same area that we believe this sound comes from. But again, this is just where we think it came from and what we think might be causing it. Similar to the bloop, however, we have actually heard this multiple times, but again, we still can't necessarily pin it down. It's also been heard at different intensities and frequencies throughout the years. Some researchers suggest that it could be due to shifts in underwater geothermal systems, but once again, there's no proof. The mystery only deepens when you consider the upsweep has been gradually decreasing in intensity throughout the years. So is it disappearing? Are we eventually going to not hear it at all and it'll just forever remain unsolved? The next one we're going to talk about is the hum. It has been heard by both machines and people, and it's been not just scientists, but everyday people. If you've ever heard a low, persistent humming noise at night and couldn't figure out where it was coming from, you're not alone. A hum has been reported all over the world, from small towns in New Mexico, Taos for example, to major cities in Europe, and yet there is no clear explanation for it. Some people describe it as a faint droning noise, while others say it is a low rumble. It's been blamed on everything from industrial equipment to distant traffic, but this is where it gets weirder. Not everyone can actually hear it. In fact, only about 2% of the population have been able to detect the hum. Going back to Taos, I actually knew this because we're from New Mexico. The entire town of Taos would just go about its daily routine, day in, day out, except very few people couldn't even fall asleep at night because of the hum that they would hear, and the rest of the city would be fine. So it is really weird. Eventually, I want to do a deep dive onto this, but for many, the hum has become more than just an annoyance. It's linked to sleep disturbances, anxiety, and even health problems. People are super sensitive to noise, people and animals. There are certain frequencies that cause anxiety. There are certain frequencies that cause people to be more irritable. Just ask the government. I'm sure the CIA knows all about this. As with some of the other ones, we don't actually know what causes it. It could be tectonic movement, could be, well, there aren't really any volcanoes near Taos specifically, so that wouldn't be it, but we don't really know. Pretty weird. All right, the next sound is the Julia signal. And again, this one came from underwater. It also came from the Pacific. Scientists picked up this sound with an array of hydrophones in 1999 and dubbed it Julia. It's also believed to be a large glacier running aground in Antarctica. This one was about a 15-second audio clip and has not been heard since. Probably a glacier or aliens, but it would be pretty nuts if something just absolutely massive was living in the Pacific Ocean. That'd be pretty nuts. That'd be pretty insane. Just, you have like some massive creature just hiding underwater in some deep cave, maybe. Just it wakes up and does, ugh! And scientists all over the world are like, oh my God, what was that? All right. And the very last one we're going to cover is skyquakes or sky trumpets. I actually did a video about this last week, so you can go check that one out. I break it all down for you, but the skyquakes, trumpets, clatter, whatever you want to call it, they've got a bunch of names. These have been written down in documents for centuries. So it does kind of dispute a lot of the theories about it being technology or, human presence, because we didn't have planes that could create sonic booms. We didn't have large machinery. We didn't have traffic. None of those things could have been it, at least back then, right? Maybe it is now. They vary in sounds, from loud booms to explosions to rattling to hums. It kind of depends on where it's heard and when and who's hearing it. But
lighten up now. Crazy. It's like a trumpet.
The phenomenon is reported for hundreds of years all over the world. Scientists have tons of theories on what it could be, but nothing has been pinned down specifically as a culprit. They actually still don't know. And it's weird. There are mentions of it in the Bible. The book of Revelations discusses it as the 7 trumpets from the 7 angels to signal the end of times. After the 7th trumpet is blown, the biblical apocalypse begins. If it helps, I think we've had more than 7. So not saying I don't believe it, just saying it's either not true or we're very due for it. With that being said, guys, this was 6 of the craziest sound recordings we have ever captured. Let me know what you think lives in the bottom of the ocean. If it's just aliens blowing up glaciers, I want to hear it. But until next time, guys, drink water, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.